crowd of 75,000 plus is expected to watch the Los Angeles Raiders, who have already clinched at least a wild card in the coming NFL playoffs, go against the Detroit Lions. For the Raiders, they know that if they can win tonight, they can defeat Pittsburgh next week. They have a chance of hosting their wild card game, their first one at home in Los Angeles. We'll tell you how that could come about a little later on. And for the Detroit Lions, well, you hear things tonight with a 4-9-1 record, Don, things like pride, self-respect, and certainly Gary Danielson has played well over the past few weeks.
I think that probably is the case, Frank. When you look at a guy right there, that's a very revealing stat. Over the last 3 weeks, he's been very well, but they're still saying around Detroit, hey, we don't have Hippo, and they always seem to kind of focus in on the quarterback anyway. They've only won 4 ball games. On the other side of the coin, OJ, you got a team that has clinched the playoff, and Marcus Allen's had a whole lot to do with that.
You talk about the last 3 weeks. The Raiders have finally been playing like Super Bowl defending champs. And one of the reasons is Marcus Allen. He's averaged over 6 yards a run over that period of time. And I'm sure Monty Clark has told his players, if we're going to beat the Raiders, we're going to have to contain Marcus Allen.
All right, Frank Gifford, along with Don Meredith and O.J. Simpson, all of us want to congratulate Eric Dickerson on his achievement yesterday, breaking O.J.'s record. He's at 2,007 yards, breaking Deuce's mark at 2003. One of the great. O.J. will be talking with Jim Lampley about Eric Dickerson at halftime. We're set to go. The Raiders will kick off. Pete Manley, a rookie from Northern Arizona, is deep, number 82, along with Alvin Hall, number 35. Barr hangs it high. Manley from the 5-yard line. And Manley out of the 15 to the 16-yard line, where he stopped there by Chester Willis. And let's take a look at the offensive unit. Gary Danielson, who has had some big games. He has been the hottest quarterback over the past 3 weeks, other than the Bears' Steve Fuller, highest rated. But he has also given up quite a few interceptions. There is the remainder of the offensive unit. Ken Jenkins, a second-year man out of Bucknell, opens at halfback. Of course, Billy Sims was lost 7 weeks ago. To tell you what he means to this team, he's still their leading rusher with 687 yards. Billy Sims gone with a knee injury. First down and 10, Detroit. Thompson in motion. Jenkins rattles for about 5 up close to the 20-yard line, where it'll bring up a second down and 6 situation. Brad Van Pelt defensively there, who works behind this 3-man set, but it changes so often you can't really call it a 3-4. They work Greg Townsend in there, Sean Jones, Squirey, Piquel, and there, of course, the heralded secondary, perhaps the best in the football game today. And there is Monty Clark, the leaguer, was given a new 5-year contract after 1982, but if you read the papers up here, you think that Monty is in deep trouble. Owner Bill Ford is non-committal on that at the moment. Second down and 6, and Danielson is back. Danielson fires it complete to James Jones, and Jones, the second-year man out of Florida, who is having a tremendous year for these Lions, gets the first down up about the 29-yard line. And O.J., Monty Clark was talking about this youngster today at the meeting.
Yeah, he reminds you somewhat of James Wilder. He runs the ball real well. He has over 500 yards rushing the ball, but on that reception, that was his 70th reception of the year, and that's pretty good production from a second-year man.
They got him last year in the first round, and they took him from Florida primarily because he was a really good receiver as well as a runner. We're talking about James Jones, number 30 for the Lions. Jones got the first down at the 29-yard line. There's a bobble. Danielson pulling away from the center. He indicates that the Lions did, however, get it back.
I think he was also pointing out to the other that they were the ones that were offside. There's a flag down there, too.
Yes, there is. Bob Frederick is our referee tonight here in the Silverdome in Pontiac. We're outside. The temperature is fairly warm, rather a foggy evening. Here's Bob Frederick.
Talk to us, Bob. I see. That way to go.
And Raiders indicated offside. I spoke of this man a moment ago. What a remarkable athlete. Went down with that knee injury 7 weeks ago. Had an extensive surgery, but everyone feels that he will come back and come back strong. A real team player, a real cheerleader. And one thing Monty Clark did say to us, that this team has not quit. He can't figure it out. It's the same team that a year ago won the Central Division of the NFC, and yet here they are 4-9-1.
They've lost 4 games, I think, Frank, less than 4 points, so they played some of them pretty close, and they've been blown out sometimes, too.
Following the penalty is first down and 5, the ball near the 34-yard line of Detroit. Marc Nichols in motion. Danielson. Jones. Jones will get another first down and much more. Down the sidelines, rumbles the big man before he's taken out of bounds by Van McElroy. No flags, and Jones, with a little flare out in the flat, shows you his running talent as well as his receiving talent.
Looks like they got Brad Van Pelt in kind of an awkward position. It's just a little flare pass, as Frank described. There's Van Pelt right there. Couldn't adjust to come back in. Looked like Rod Martin missed him also. That was Jeff Barnes instead. Good little move.
Jones to the 40-yard line of the Raiders. It'll be first down and 10. Again, I'll reiterate for the Raiders, they want to win tonight, beat Pittsburgh next week, and hope that Denver can upset Seattle next Saturday. And in that case, that scenario, they would have the first wild card game at home in Los Angeles. Jenkins, and he is in deep trouble. He gets in trouble with the strong safety Mike Davis.
One of those perfect examples of having an absolute correct defense call, because you saw Davis coming across, following a man in motion, and they made that pitch. Davis never slowed down. Nobody blocked him. He went back in the backfield by the time the receiver got outside.
I touched on that defensive backfield as we look at Tom Flores. He has not had the problem, say, the Jets have, San Diego.
Most
his entire starting secondary, Haynes, McKinney, Hayes, Davis, they've started every game. That really in itself is remarkable because they play physical football.
He's been lucky, though. He's lost a couple of key guys on his offensive line, but there had so much depth on that offensive line that you hadn't noticed it.
Second down and 15. Danielson back. Pressure. Down goes Danielson. Lyle Alzado, a 14-year veteran and really a bit of the heart and soul of this team. He sort of epitomizes what the Raiders are all about.
He was working on Don Lassiter, I believe, right in front of him. He gave him a shot right off the line of scrimmage, sent him back. Lyle made a quick move to the inside. There was no one there to pick him up.
Well, this is a young Lion team, and Don Lassiter is only in his second year. There was a few years back when an offensive lineman wouldn't even be starting in his second year, but I think he's going to get an education here tonight.
He got one there.
Don Lassiter, of course, replaced an injured Rich Stringer early in the season. The Detroit Lions also lost their starting center, Steve Mott, in the fourth game of the season. So they have a bit of a makeshift line they've been going with this year. Third down and a whole bunch for Danielson. He slides underneath to Jenkins. And Jenkins back to the original line of scrimmage. Up into there by James Davis.
Looks like a holding penalty back at the line of scrimmage.
Flag is down right at the line of scrimmage. And we could get that holding call that is so familiar, too familiar.
I would take that penalty. Put him on back some more.
I guess it's pretty typical of the Lions. They're one of the more penalized teams in the NFL this year. It's interesting that they've been able to move the ball. They're rated 5th offensively, but they haven't been able really to get the ball in the end zone.
One of Steve Hertz, our statistician's little numbers, is calls those the yards you gain and points you have out of them. They've only averaged like 5.5 yards per 100. I mean points per 100 yards. So and that is pretty low.
Offensive holding, number 67, and we will repeat the third down.
Yes. So the Raiders do take the penalty. They would have had a fourth down and 10, but Ed Murray is kicking very well for Detroit, and he would have been within range there. We want to get quickly something in on this December the 9th. Baseball news, big news for Mets fans particularly. Kind of a surprising trade. Gary Carter is going to come to the New York Mets from Montreal.
How about that?
We'll tell you about the entire trade a little later on. For the Lions, third down and 32. They're back at their own 38-yard line. 4 wide receivers are in. Danielson has a lot of time, but there's a lot of coverage downfield. And Danielson looks upfield, cannot find a receiver. The boos will be on the lips of this crowd, and they'll come very early tonight.
That was an expression from a fan right there. He said, you know what, give me a break, will you? And it is tough on the fans because they've been out here. They really expected a good team this year. A lot of preseason picks had the Lions favored to win their division. They've not really come through. And as Frank mentioned earlier, O.J., they've had a lot of the same guys back that they had when they won the division.
This is Mike Black on fourth down. Cleo Montgomery, who has replaced Greg Pruitt a couple of weeks ago. Greg having trouble holding on to the ball. Had 9 fumbles in his 50 attempts. So they have Cleo Montgomery back there now for the Raiders. And he takes it at the 17. Montgomery, good running out of the 25 to about the 27. Hit there by William Frizzell. 40-yard effort by Mike Black. And the Raiders get the football back. We have no score from Detroit. We'll be back in a moment.
By Nissan, we're changing our name.
Rushing in a single season, O.J. Simpson.
He used to be O.J. Simpson.
I tell you, I was talking to Eric last week, and I said it'd be good if you can get about 180 yards so you won't have so much pressure on you going into the 49er game. I didn't expect him to get it all against Houston.
We'll be talking more about that, of course, a little later on. Meanwhile, the Raiders have a first down and 10. The ball at their own 27-yard line, 11:29 remaining in the first quarter. No score from Pontiac, Michigan. Wilson, flag is down, and Wilson tries to get to Cliff Branch. He was covered there by Bruce McNorton, but a flag is down. We should get some kind of interference call downfield.
A strange-looking situation because he had plenty of time.
Detroit. Take a look at the offensive unit while they sort the penalty out. Marc Wilson making his 9th start, taking over from an injured Jim Plunkett in the first Seattle game for the Raiders. Been effective. He sprained a thumb a few weeks ago against Chicago, and that has hindered him. We watched him work out as we look at the remainder of the offensive unit of the Raiders in the pregame warm-up, and he was really firing the football. On the first down and 10, following the penalty, this is Marcus Allen, his first carry of the night, and he is piled up by a hustling Detroit defense. The penalty, by the way, was against Gary Cobb of Detroit for holding. And let's take a look at the defensive unit. They go with the 4-man front. Over on the right side, they're exceptionally strong with William Gay and Doug English, both Pro Bowlers from a year ago. Ken Fantetti in the middle.
Well, the Raiders have a little problem here. I see Dave Dalby is down.
And a secondary that has the fewest interceptions in the NFL. Dave Dalby is down, and this is a man who started his 188th consecutive game tonight, and they really feel he is important in the middle of that line. I asked Tom Flores to tell me about leaders, and he spoke very highly of this man, the center, Dave Dalby. We'll be back. Inside the 34-yard line, 2nd down and 8. The Raiders still in possession. No score from Pontiac, Michigan. Wilson again trying to get to Cliff Branch. And I wonder if they aren't thinking perhaps a little bit about the fact that Cliff Branch needs 1 reception for his 500th career reception. It's been a remarkable career.
That has been, and plus the fact he hasn't caught a pass in the last 3 games. One of the reasons why is that the word is Marc Wilson does not like to throw to his left. He doesn't throw many passes to the left side of the field. He likes to throw to the right side of the field, and it's interesting that here in the first quarter, his first 2 passes are gone to the left side of the field.
3rd down and 8. Marc Wilson looks over an odd man setup as Detroit. Oh, and wide open is Todd Christensen. He did have linebackers in front of him, and Marc Wilson under pressure had to throw over them. The ball was high, incomplete. We'll see the punting unit.
Todd Christensen once again is having a very productive year. He always seems to come up with those catches when you need them. I think he's averaged like at least 3 catches a game this year. Whereas Marc Wilson, another average that he has, we got to look forward. He's thrown an interception every game he's started, at least 1. And that's one of the things you want to try to avoid.
There's Robbie Martin dropping for Detroit, and here is Ray Guy. Not averaging all that high, but he is a great plus and has been since he was a first-round draft pick back in 1973. They got them a punter for a decade plus when they went for a first round for Ray Guy. Boy, he puts up a tall one. Bobby Martin hesitated for a moment, but only a moment, as he realized with the height on that ball, he would have to go with the fair catch, and he does at the 28-yard line. Only 38-yard punt, and Detroit will start at their 28. We're all under 500. They beat Green Bay in a tough one Thanksgiving Day. They beat Atlanta, Tampa Bay, and Minnesota. It's been a struggling year. Detroit with the football, 1st down and 10 near their own 28-yard line. Danielson gets good protection. Gets it to Jones out of the backfield, but he doesn't hold on. Jones being covered back there by the strong safety Mike Davis. Also getting back there is Brad Van Pelt, now in his 12th year, and of course 11 of those with the Giants. 5 of them were Pro Bowl years. He still is active.
As you can see, Jones almost caught the ball. He's trying to work on Brad Van Pelt. The book on Brad is he's slowed up a little bit in his latter years, even though he plays the run good. Normally on running downs, they'll bring in Jeff Barnes. As you can see, appeared as if he had the ball. but I guess they said he never had total possession of it. But it appears they're picking on Brad Van Pelt. I'll get that out. On first down before they can get Jeff Barnes in the game.
Second down and 10, still no score. 10:20 remaining in the first quarter. Motion man is Reese McCall. Danielson, Jones. And Jones just bowls into Brad Van Pelt, picks up about 6 out of that. It'll bring up a third down and about 4.
Very frustrated Matt Millen that last time. Van Pelt seems to be injured a little bit.
Replacement coming into the game, and Jeff Barnes. From the shotgun on the 3rd and 4. Raiders have been extremely tough against the run over the past few weeks. And they have run very well, and that's Lyle Alzado once again.
Oh,
Lyle Alzado has got him a chop licker over on that side. Don Laster. He is teeing off on Don Laster.
Unfortunately for Don Laster, the last time it was a passing situation, he got some help, but the man went over to try to help against Howie Long, and as you can see, Lyle just beat him, pushed him back, beat him to the inside, and got another sack. That's 2 for Lyle tonight.
That'll bring up 4th down, and Mike Black comes on once again. Cleo Montgomery settles back near the 30-yard line for the Raiders. Montgomery was the key punt return man in 1980 and 81, 82 and 83, and through most of this year it was Greg Pruitt. Black had to hurry that, but he gets off a boomer that'll take Montgomery to the 21-yard line. And good hustling on the part of the Detroit Lions. Number 58 down there very quickly and making the stop in good shape. That was Doig, Steve Doig. So the Raiders will have a 1st and 10. The ball will be at their 23-yard line when we come back. Be bringing you Super Bowl 19, January the 20th from Palo Alto, California. 1st and 10 Raiders. Marcus Allen, and Allen fumbles the football, and there's a scramble for it. Gets it back. That's Allen's 8th fumble thus far this year. Like all good running backs who try to squeeze out that extra yard, they're going to give it up a little bit.
Yeah, and Marcus.
You ever talk to Marcus about that very thing, OJ?
Well, last year I noticed something he was doing. You know, he has those big forearms, and those are his only weapons offensively. So every time he was about to get tackled, he'd attack the guy with his forearm, and the ball would slip out underneath the elbow. So I told him he should lock his elbow every time he was about to make contact.
2nd down and 4. The 2 tight ends are in, and Marcus Allen does his 707 over the top. Coming up short of the 1st down, and here's Lyle Alzado, and he just can't wait to get back in there and get reacquainted with Laster.
He's having a good night tonight. Lyle has been the one that, actually, he's not anywhere close to the team leader in sacks, but I think his presence there through the years, Lyle's been the kind of guy that he always makes just enough noise on the other side of the line that they know he's there, don't they?
Seek and destroy, one of the phrases that you had connect with the Raiders. Commitment to excellence,
just
pride and poise, just to win. Boy, they have won. 23-3-1 on Monday Night Football, the Raiders. 3rd down and 1. That time Marcus Allen stayed on his feet, did not have to get airborne, and he gets the 1st down at the 35-yard line. And we've got a couple of games coming your way. Friday night we're going to be in San Francisco, and so much is on the line there for the Los Angeles Rams when they go against the 49ers. All kinds of ramifications from that one as it affects the NFC deadlock in the East. And of course, teams affected: Giants, the Cards, the Cowboys. I'll tell you more about that, and we'll have our look at Eric Dickerson on Friday night.
Dallas and Miami next Monday. We've got a couple of good ones.
1st down and 10. Wilson slips it in to Dave Casper, and Casper short of the 1st down, but he'll get about 7 out of that. Moving out close to the 43 in the arms of Ken Fantetti.
You said something a while ago, Jay, that I didn't know anything about. I'm watching now. If he throws to the right or if he throws to the left, that's kind of an inside scoop you've got.
Well, I know it's a book on him. He likes to throw to the right and down the middle. I think he may have, when he came out, threw intentionally to the left just in case they have that book on him to make them not overplay him to the right side of the defense.
2nd and long 2. Frank Hawkins, good short yardage man. He's up there close to a 1st down out over the 45-yard line. Tough little runner. They got him in 81 as a 10th round draft pick. He had a remarkable career at the University of Nevada at Reno. short, however, and I think that probably is why they got him so late in the draft. Frank Hawkins. He's about 5'9". And we're going to have the measurement. Again, while they bring the sticks out, I'll remind you for the
continue to play championship caliber football.
They played championship caliber football this past week, didn't they?
At the 45-yard line, first down, Wilson back. Wilson wide open is Barnwell.
Yes.
And a good shot by Mark Wilson. Don, that was what Mark Wilson could not do when we watched him earlier against Seattle a few weeks ago with that sprained thumb from the Bear game. He really put some smoke on that one.
He did. We were watching him also in this pregame warm-up, and boy, he was really zipping it around. Again, another little book on Mark is that, you know, he has not played that much. Jim Plunkett's been the quarterback there for a while, that he throws a different ball when the game starts. But I think the injury to his thumb had a great deal to do with it. He's thrown actually some very pure good passes.
No score, 6:35 remaining in the first quarter as Marcus Allen almost breaks it off, getting inside the 35. Gain of about 5 for Marcus Allen.
It's interesting also over the last few weeks, the Raiders have been a more potent offensive unit. They've been running the ball a lot better ever since Dave Casper has come around. If you notice, they're playing mostly 2 tight end. They have both Christensen and Casper, number 87, in the football game. And since they've gone to that alignment, they've really been running the ball much more effectively.
Second down and 5. Out of the backfield, Marcus Allen. Here comes Frank Hawkins. Didn't like the way things look to the outside. Brings it back inside. Gets to the line of scrimmage. That's it. It'll be 3rd and 5. Rushing. So they know when the playoffs are about to begin. 3rd and 5. Wilson's going down. The ball is loose. Wilson was battered and buffeted. Had to wait for a receiver. He was looking for a Cliff Branch. And the Raiders get it back.
As we said on previous broadcasts, the Raiders are a team that they will not throw the ball until after the receiver has made his cut. Now, most teams, the quarterback would have already thrown the ball. He saw what Cliff Branch was doing. Cliff was running an out pattern. Most teams would have anticipated and thrown the ball. Now, meanwhile, Cliff was wide open, but he held on to the ball, and that was a victim of their style of
They also got themselves out of field goal range. And so we are going to watch Ray Guy. They would have had a shot with Chris Barr at 3 points. Good timely pressure by Detroit. Alvin Hall is back with Robbie Martin. Hall 35, Robbie Martin 83. Guy very good getting it out of bounds inside the 20. Leads the league, as a matter of fact. Well, and he did it there. And look, Ray Guy just applauded his own punt. He has been amazing. 23 of 77. They did not catch it, however. Guy thought he had it.
I did too.
I thought he had it, but he doesn't. But he has led the league in that department. He is an effective weapon. We'll be back. Remaining in the first quarter, Detroit and the Raiders. Detroit first down and 10, the ball at the 20-yard line. Single setback is Ken Jenkins. This is Jenkins. And Jenkins gets a 5 out to the 25-yard line, chased out of bounds there. Pressure coming from Squirey and Rod Martin. Rod Martin, one of the really fine defensive linebackers, and Squirey there filling in for an injured Bob Nelson.
What we would call a successful first down. Anytime you can get 5 yards on first down. This offensive unit, especially the offensive line, has done a good job this year. Of course, Monty Clark was an offensive line coach. You may have noticed earlier that Billy Sims averaged 5.5 yards a run when he was earlier in the season, and Ken Jenkins is averaging right at 5 yards a carry right now. It's
Second down and 5. Jones in motion for Detroit. The handoff, however, Jenkins. And Jenkins held for a couple to bring up a 3rd down and 3. Matt Millen back in the lineup, and Matt Millen, of course, struggled through the middle of the season with a groin pull, and he is the strength of the Raider defense, the linebacking core against the run. Millen, however, healthy, and was quite a potent force in that game a week ago that the Raiders took from Miami 45-34.
Well, look at that number 31, little Ken Jenkins. He's only 5'8", 185 pounds.
You got to admire his courage, if nothing else. 3rd down and 3. From the shotgun. Danielson gets away from Howie Long. It's the first down yardage to Jones, and he breaks it off. Jones with a good exhibition of running inside the 45-yard line of the Raiders. First down, Detroit. And Monty Clark was exactly right. The youngster can run. He's a good blocker and a good receiver.
And most importantly, is a heads-up ball play. He saw his quarterback was in trouble. He scrambled. He's 6'2", 229 pounds, and he moves it pretty good earlier this year.
Hey, that's quite a move for that big a man, that little spin trying to get out of the arms of the tackler.
Dan McElroy did do a good job in bringing him down. Once again, Van Pelt was just a little bit slow in closing that gap. Gave him a chance to turn it upfield.
I think all the high hopes for Detroit really hinged on the fact that it was going to be Billy Sims teaming with James Jones this year. Such, however, not the case. On 1st and 10, Danielson under pressure tries to get the ball to Leonard Thompson, and perhaps the best defensive back in football, Mike Haynes, was right there.
Well, Danielson got smart on that play. He was throwing a little hitch pass. That's when the receiver goes about 3 yards and just stops. And when he looked up, he saw Mike Haynes had already come out of his back paddle, and he just threw the ball away.
Mike Haynes was seeing deja vu from a week ago with that 97-yard touchdown return off Dan Marino in Miami. Boy, I'll tell you, when they got him a year ago, well, last November, Mike Haynes teaming with Lester Hayes on the corner. What an awesome pair. 2nd down and 10. The two setbacks are in. Dave Daddio, a rookie from Maryland, number 44, is in there as a setback.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy, they all came that time.
Yep.
Getting there first was number 93, Greg Townsend. We talked about him a little earlier, and also Howie Long. If Townsend would have missed, Howie Long was there right on schedule.
Well, they made a good, quick, clean break at the line of scrimmage, didn't they? They were back there.
That's their version of Fred Dean. Greg Townsend, number 93. He's the Raiders' Fred Dean. Does a good job coming out of there. He had 7 sacks coming into the night, and that's 8 for a guy playing off the bench. That's pretty good.
That's 57 sacks for the season thus far for the Raiders. They have 3 tonight. They came into the night with 54. They give you an idea how that compares to Detroit. Detroit came into the night with 33. 3rd down and long. And there was movement at the line of scrimmage. I did not see contact, but it could be the Lions used too much time.
Ball start, number 72, offense.
The 30-second clock had ticked down quarter. They were deep in Raider territory. A couple of sacks, a penalty, and they had the punt. And they are facing that now as they look over a 3rd down and 25. And when you turn loose the Raiders, they know you have to throw. Alzado was there. Howie Long was there. And Bill Pickell was there, number 71. Any one of the 3 of them would have nailed Gary Danielson.
People that feel they will not make it through the playoffs playing on the road, which they might have to without Jim Plunkett. So I think they may get the rust off him if they can get a lead here tonight.
That's Mike Black punting, and this is Cleo Montgomery at the 20-yard line. Got a few blockers in front, and Cleo spins inside out to the 29-yard line, where it'll be 1st down Raiders. Still no score, as the 4-9-1 Detroit Lions are staying with the Raiders. The Raiders, of course, 10-4. And again, they feel they really must win. Could see a little bit of Plunkett tonight, or maybe a lot of Plunkett tonight.
Now he played a few games in Stanford Stadium. We'd love to get back there.
1st down and 10. Wilson is back for the Raiders. Todd Christensen wide open. And Christensen held short of the 1st down as he moves to the 37-yard line in the arms of Gary Cobb. Former running back, 2nd-round draft pick of the Cowboys a few years ago. They had him on IR for a year, and then Christensen, of course, went to the Giants. They tried him out as a running back, turned him loose, went to the Raiders, didn't catch a pass the first year he was there. Moved him to tight end. Last year, he led the entire National Football League with 92 receptions. He came into the night with 71. 2nd and 1. That's Dave Casper in motion. As we look at Marcus Allen, he gets the 1st down easily out over the 40 to the 42. He does everything so gracefully, O.J.
And it certainly helps when there's no penetration. Earlier in the year, they the Raiders had a lot of problems running the football. They were giving up they were moving linemen in and out, and they were not giving him that solid front wall that he likes. A good back like Marc is running from the I formation. He likes to pick his holes, and the only way you can do that is to not get any penetration by the defense, and they're doing a good job of not allowing that penetration now.
Less than a minute remaining in the first quarter. First down and 10, Marc Wilson. Looks off Cliff Branch, goes back to Christensen, who works like a running back there. That is the experience of the running back. A good move by Christensen to get the first down near the 47-yard line of Detroit.
Dipsy Doodle.
He gave us a little Tony Dorsett spin there at the end. There's one thing that Marc Wilson is doing tonight. He's finding his secondary receiver. That's been a rap on him the last few weeks. See, Marc does a good job catching the ball, and that's a real nice little spin. You see Tony Dorsett. He'll do that quite often.
Todd Christensen had Gary Cobb doing a two-step with him, and he gets the first down at the 47-yard line of Detroit. That's the end of the first quarter. We'll be right back. We hope you're enjoying the early start. A first for Monday Night Football, an 8 o'clock Eastern start. As we begin the second quarter, the Raiders have the ball. First down and 10 at the 47-yard line of Detroit. And this is Kenny King. And the surge of the Detroit defense stops Kenny King right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down and 10. Take a look at the numbers from a long first quarter. Fairly even, and there is no score. Time of possession fairly even. Detroit again 4-9-1 out of it. Only pride and self-respect is what they're involved with tonight.
They've got some good players. We've talked about it before, but William Gay, Doug English, Curtis Green, Cofer, that's that front four up there. Cobb, Fantani, Williams, there's some good linebackers. These guys can play defense.
Second down and 10. Marcus Allen goes out to the right. Ooh, and a quick move by William Gay. Flags are down. That was big number 79. I don't know whether he was drawn off or not. He was in a sprinter's stance, and he really took off. Bob Frederick, once again our referee.
Ball start, 79 on the offense.
That was Bruce Davis making a quick move. William Gay lined up way outside of him, and I think Bruce Davis tried to anticipate the snap number to make sure he could get blocking position on Gay, a Pro Bowler, as I mentioned earlier, last year with 13.5 sacks.
Doug English, look at him right to the side. Those two guys are about as good as they get.
Doug English, a Pro Bowler a year ago also.
William Gay had such a jump off the ball. He has 10 sacks this year. I think Marc Wilson is lucky that Bruce Davis jumped to block him. I think he didn't hit him before the ball was snapped.
Second down 15. Wilson is back. There's a lot of time. And Wilson is really hammered. Graham was there, the strong safety, along with Cofer, who came in from behind. And I'll tell you, when you're 6'6" and 205, that's not a lot of meat on a very long frame. He's dealing with some pretty big cats out there.
Michael Cofer, we were talking about him too on the other defensive left end. Not quite as big as some of them, but terribly quick. You saw a good example of that right there.
Into the ball game for the Raiders, an exciting football player, Dokie Williams, number 85. Didn't play all that much at UCLA, but he was effective when he was there. He wears number 85. We're going to cover from the end zone on the third down, a long passing situation.
Here comes the linebacker.
Wilson in deep trouble. Down he goes. The blitz was on. English was in there. But the pressure of the linebackers made the difference. Coming was Gary Cobb also, and the loss is back to the 47. And I'll tell you something. Detroit is playing the Raiders tough tonight. The Raiders are Detroit's 15-yard line. Ray Guy is also a backup quarterback. If you don't rush him, he'll stand there and hold it and let his coverage get downfield. And Guy kicks it through the end zone. One of the few touchbacks you'll see Ray Guy get. But he had 53 yards out of that. And we'll be back in the Silverdome. Detroit with possession at their 20-yard line. Up in Kingsburg, I think it was, and Florey's growing up in Sanger. Played against each other in high school. First down and 10. Detroit with the football. Danielson under pressure. And Howie Long just reaches one of those big ham arms over to get Danielson. There's a loss on the play. We asked Monty a little earlier today, in this kind of a situation, how do you motivate a team?
Well, at this point, we don't have a chance for some of the things that we'd hoped for this year. Last year, we had the best season in 26 years here, and we hope anxious to come back this year and go on from there. All that is out the window at this stage, and now it's just a matter of personal pride and being a professional and obligation to yourself, self-satisfaction of knowing you've done your best, and that's really all that's left now.
All the things you must say when you're a head coach with a 4-9-1 record.
But it's
Monty
also
believes
true.
them.
You know, I mean,
it is true.
Yeah, it is true. What else are they going to do?
On second down and long yardage, Jones over the left side, and the Raiders now have 5 sacks on the night. They need one more to tie the Bears for the league lead in that department. If you are concerned about the NFL record for sacks in a game, it is 12.
I was concerned about that.
And if you're concerned about sacks for a season,
I was.
It is 67
by
the Raiders.
What year, please?
In 1967.
Thank you. I'm not as concerned about that as I was.
Third down and 10.
Yeah.
Ball resting right at the 20-yard line. From the shotgun, Danielson. Rod Martin is freewheeling. He gets the ball, however, to Chadwick. And Jeff Chadwick has an open field. Covers up the football and inside the 35-yard line. Young free agent a year ago out of Grand Valley State gets the big play for the Lions, and they turn a long third down situation into a first down inside the 35-yard line of the Raiders.
Didn't he have a great game?
He sure
Last
did.
time we were here. Chadwick is a heck of a player there, O.J.
See, he does a good job of covering the ball. I guess he realizes he's not the fastest receiver in the league, and watch him here. He knows he's about to get caught.
Boom.
The last thing he wants to do is cover up the ball. It's interesting to see Gary Danielson throw the ball to Chadwick. They both attended the same high school, even though it wasn't at the same time, Divine Child High School.
First down and 10. Chadwick, a 47-yard pickup. That's the longest reception of his young career. Very timely. Howie Long reigns all over young Ken Jenkins. As O.J. pointed out earlier, Jenkins is only 5'8", 185, and Howie Long is 6'5", 265. A flag is down.
Monty Clark was saying what respect he has for Howie Long, and he says it's just there's nobody better than he is at that position in his opinion.
Yeah, he said
asking him a kind of a stimulating question. They're exact same dimensions.
Offside, number 75, defense, and first down will be replayed.
See, he was
Why
quick.
Howie Long was so quick, but I asked Monty in our meeting today, I said, if you had a choice to take Marc Gastineau, who's also 6'5" and 265, or Howie Long. Monty was puzzled for a minute, and then he became a politician.
Yeah.
So they'd like to have them both.
Well, the word in L.A. is Howie just signed a new contract. He's making $75,000 more than Marc Gastineau. $875,000 a year.
All right.
First down and 5 following the penalty. Oh, Red getting a hand on it was Brad Van Pelt, who had nothing but AstroTurf in front of him.
Van Pelt is not what you call the prototype of a linebacker because he's 6'5". He actually looks taller than that to me. He's long, gangly kind of guy, but he's been around for a while. Look at those stats, 5 times in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, he came up as a safety, Don, 12 years ago with the Giants.
Well, we've talked about him so many times in the past, but great athlete, great baseball player, could do all of it.
5 times a Pro Bowler.
Brad Van Pelt, Michigan State product. They have 2 players that were from the Michigan schools here. He's one of them.
Second down and 5. Detroit. Still no score in the game. Early minutes of the second quarter. Danielson had to hurry that one. He was caught by Jenkins somehow.
Lester hurt himself there and got his arm.
Lester Hayes is up there.
Looked as if he caught his arm in between. Lester, that's...
He hit it right on the elbow. He may have just hit that little crazy bone in his arm.
Lester Hayes, the Pro Bowling defensive left cornerback, one of the fine ones ever to play this game. Let's take a look at it again.
Sort of a gutsy throw. You see he was under a lot of pressure. Actually, Lester Hayes was covering Robbie Martin, and at the last minute, Martin, you'll see 83 runs by him, and there's Lester. Jenkins was on top of him before he even realized it and just hit him with his elbow, and it appeared as if he may have injured that elbow.
You hope it's one of those tinglers, that they are much concerned over the health and well-being of Lester Hayes. They're attending him now. We'll be back in a moment.
Tonight, a quarterback who changed a team and the history of a league as Avis presents NFL Classics.
I hate to wait.
He hates to wait.
Well, you have to wait. So sorry.
Avis knows how frustrating it is to wait for your rental car. That's why we invented the Wizard number, so you can go right from your plane to the Avis bus.
I hate to wait.
We'll get you on your way and into your car fast. We know you hate to wait, so from reservation to return,
I hate to wait. He hates to wait.
we're trying harder, faster.
I hate to wait.
Joe Namath's arm was once the most highly prized weapon in all professional football. He threw with precise abandon, sensing the game's fever, running his offense with pure Namath instinct, producing crystal moments in his career when the absolute force of his will drove a team past its own barriers. It earned him a championship and instant respect for the AFL.
GoBots, the hottest gift this year. Why do kids love them? Watch 2020 Thursday.
Lester Hayes looked a lot better than when we left him, and it could be one of those tinglers. Don and OJ and I have all experienced that a little bit. You bang that elbow and the electricity goes right to the top of your head. Hopefully that's what it is. He's out. Ted Watts is in, and Detroit is confronted with a third down and short yardage situation. Sixth play of this drive and Detroit's deepest penetration. Jones close to the first down. There is Lester. Only one interception for Lester this year. That doesn't necessarily mean anything other than maybe they avoid him a great deal. 4 straight Pro Bowls, however. And short of the first down is James Jones for Detroit, and it'll be 4th down. You're 4-9-1. I don't think there's any other consideration.
He might be in a 4-down situation from the opening kickoff if you're 4-9-1.
He was in the opening 4th down situation from the team kneel on.
That's right.
But this is good practice for the Raiders, too. They'll see many of these situations in the playoffs.
It's hard to go wide on the Raiders. Taking it outside, they're going to put their heads down, shoot the gaps. They penetrated. Mike Davis finally made the stop, but Jones was in trouble from the moment he got the ball. If you're going to do that, take it straight up. Look for a trap block.
Yeah, well, one thing for sure, the Raiders' short yardage defense is in goal in playoff form. As you can see, the only thing they're trying to do, those front guys, is penetrate. You see Howie penetrates. You see Patel penetrates. That's Davis. And here comes the cornerbacks.
The 4th down attempt fails. The Raiders take over 1st and 10, their own 26-yard line. 9:45 remaining in the first half. Surprisingly, no score. Surprisingly, when you consider the Raiders 45-34 over Miami a week ago.
Well, Al Davis said the Raiders are like Rocky Marciano.
Marcus Allen pecked and looked and was held for a gain of about 1. I want to remind you, wide world of sports. Following the excitement created by our 84 Olympic boxing medalist turned pro, a new crop of talent is waiting to step forward. Catch these up-and-comers as they battle it out at the United States Amateur Boxing Championships. Plus, and this is going to be fun for me, you'll see same-day coverage of the men's World Cup downhill skiing from Val Gardena, Italy. And, of course, Billy Johnson of the United States, the gold medalist in the downhill at Sarajevo a year ago, will be there. 5 o'clock Eastern, wide world of sports this Saturday. 2nd down and 9. Mark Wilson is back. Looks for Christensen. And the flag is down. They're going to bring this one back, but Bruce McNorton of the Lions has the ball. He apparently stepped on Christensen's heel. Down with Christensen, the flag came out immediately as McNorton brings it back for Detroit to the 30-yard line.
To me, McNorton appeared to be upfield of Christensen, and Christensen ran into him, but it'll be interesting to see.
Why did Al Davis say they're like Rocky Marciano?
Well, they keep it close, they pound you, and before you know it, they knock you out.
Defensive pass interference, number 29. First down.
That call works against Bruce McNorton. Let's take a look at it from the end zone. I think you'll see it rather well.
McNorton was upfield. As you can see, number 29 is upfield. Well, from that angle, you couldn't tell if he hit him in the back or if Christensen ran into him.
Boy, those are tough calls. He was looking the ball in all the way. McNorton, I guess the only way you could call this, saying that he impeded the progress. Ooh, he might have pulled his left arm a little too.
Yep, he did.
Tell you, they catch more than you realize. If they ever get around to that replay, it's going to be very interesting. Touchdown Raiders. Wilson wide open is Barnwell, and he makes a beautiful catch and also saved a rather violent collision with a little hook slide under William Graham. And for Barnwell, a slight 5'11" and 180. That was a tremendous play. I mean, he could have really been hammered on this.
He did a good job of going down, and if he would have slid under him, we saw Marcus Allen do it early in the year, he may have been able to get up and score. Now let's see, as he goes down, he may have tried to steal this move from Marcus, slide under the defender, but he touched him.
Wow, what concentration, though. He knew he was going to be hit. He was into his slide before the ball got there. He gets the first down at the 15-yard line.
I would say Rocky's got him staggered.
Penetration.
left jab there.
Yeah, Rocky's throwing some right-hand leads right now.
Marcus Allen slides inside, moves for perhaps 4 to the near the 11-yard line. And we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our friends all around the country let you know who's bringing you this telecast.
WABC TV, New York.
We'd also be curious to the response for this first ever time for Monday Night Football. Allen got 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7. Marcus Allen out of the backfield. Todd Christensen, however, all alone. And was he ever alone? Christensen getting in for the touchdown. That's his 13th.
And that's what Al Davis was talking about when he said they were like Rocky Marciano, as you can see.
I can
Todd
see
Christensen
somebody
is
really
all by himself. Somebody missed the coverage.
Didn't they? Yeah, Todd.
Well, he is something, isn't he? He works so well off that line of scrimmage.
They throw so many guys at you.
A few moments ago, Marcus Allen just retook the AFC rushing lead. He now has 1,102 yards, taking that over from San Diego's Ernest Jackson as Chris Barr splits the uprights, and we have the first score of the game. The Raiders on top 7-0 with 7:18 remaining in the first half. Lines with the touchdown for the Raiders from 12 yards out. Mark Wilson, good move off the line of scrimmage for Todd, who's trying to get a message across.
He was telling me, I should have your job, O.J.
I thought he said Don.
No, I think he said O.J.
Chris Barr to kick off. Manley, the rookie from Northern Arizona, number 82, is deep along with Alvin Hall, number 35.
He said Frank.
And it bounced out of the arms of Hall originally, but he comes back and retrieves it. Here he is, Alvin Hall. And in a lot of trouble.
Wrong way, Alvin.
Taken at the 12-yard line. The Raiders cover so well with their special team. They have hustlers. That was Sam Seal down there. Let's take a look at that scoring drive by the Raiders. With a left jab here, a right jab there, left lead, and as O.J. would say, the knockout punch. A 12-yard touchdown past Todd Christensen.
The knockout punch may have been that long yellow one, which was that penalty.
First down and 10, Detroit.
Hey, how about that? Always be a Cowboy fan, huh? Well, that's really good Cowboy fan, because the Cowboys lost a tough one yesterday.
First and 10, Detroit. Danielson remains the quarterback. Jones and Jenkins the setbacks. Blitz is on, and Howie Long on a deal. Danielson in a lot of trouble. It was Piquel who got the sack, but it was Howie Long dealing inside. And it's a little play that they work. The inside man steps outside, and Howie Long comes right behind him.
It was a beautiful play. Watch 55. Watch number 55, Matt Millen. Matt Millen went outside. He took on the guard and the tackle. He allowed Howie Long to come around untouched. Howie just missed his man, but Piquel was right there.
6th sack of the night, and the Raiders are now tied with the Bears for the NFL lead for the season with 60.
Matt Millen's a linebacker, but at 6'2", 250-something pounds, he can play like a tackle. He can deal with those down linemen.
He was a defensive end in his collegiate days at Penn State. 2nd and 18, and Danielson deep in his own territory. That's James Jones. Works his way to the 5-yard line. Let's go back and look at it again.
Watch number 55. He's in the middle of your screen, and he's coming outside, and he's taking on the guard and the tackle. Number 75 is Howie Long. He comes up the middle, almost untouched. Lil Jenkins took a shot at him.
Meanwhile, Piquel, while Danielson was busy, he gets it loose from his block. 6th sack of the night.
Those offensive linemen are looking around saying, who are those guys?
3rd down, 16. The ball at the 5-yard line. And
this, you don't want, they don't want interception. Let's see if he got a hitch and just get along.
Danielson fires it, trying to get it to Jones, and it's picked off and then bobbled by Otis McKinney. It's free. And now this is Van McElroy.
Nice running,
Van McElroy picks up the fumble by Otis McKinney following the interception, and the Raiders are down there smelling it again. Now, the intended receiver was Jones.
If you watch Jones, McKinney gets the interception. He starts to run. Unfortunately, Jones, I think, still had his hand on the ball. Now watch Jones get his hand in there. His hand is in there. No, actually, it was number 86 coming around there. Mike Nichols knocks the ball out. A great job of running by Van McElroy.
He learned this down in
nice
Waco.
cut. Watch this spin. Everybody's been watching Tony Dorsett.
The Raiders have a first down goal to go. They have erupted here about midway in the second quarter. They lead 7-0. 5:31 remaining in the first half. Barnwell split to the left. Marcus Allen hit at the 5, and his surge will carry him to the 4. It'll be second down goal to go.
Was that Fantetti? Or how do you say his name?
Fantetti.
Yeah.
Ken Fantetti.
Yeah, you look at their linebackers, all those guys, last year they really had a good year.
Well, I know what you're saying, but you'll see one of the reasons you tell your backs to try to stay on the ground.
Right.
You're sort of vulnerable once you get up in the air, and you'll take shots like this. But I think Rocky Marciano is throwing nothing but right-hand leads.
He might be. That was Alvin Hall, as a matter of fact, instead of
second down goal to go. Marcus Allen once again. Allen tries to slide in. He is held just inside the 1-yard line. It'll be third down, goal to go, and now they are checking the right foot of quarterback Gary Danielson on the sideline.
They got that big toe right at the ball of that big toe. Often you call it astro toe. It's a stiffness that you get if you ever stub your toe on this surface, and it's quite common with people who play on artificial surfaces.
Well, he looks like he's in excruciating pain. So we could see a new quarterback, and that would be the rookie from Columbia, John Witkowski. Our director, Chet 40, will be pleased to see. The ball is loose. There's a scramble at the goal line.
Actually, Mark Wilson slipped as he was coming away from the center, and I think they never really got a proper handoff.
The Raiders maintain possession, and now they'll have a fourth down goal to go. Didn't get it to Allen properly. It's fourth down and goal to go. The ball at just inside the 1-yard line. Allen tries to go over. No way. Good defensive play, and they look at films. They scout. They know Allen is going to go up high. Sometimes you can't do anything about it, but you can send somebody up there high with him, and that's what the Lions did, and the crowd loves it.
They did a super job of penetration there, because normally Marcus will take off 2 or 3 yards in the backfield, but the Lions were able to penetrate and get him before he took off.
And of course the timeout was called. He probably ran out of words, wouldn't you think, this youngster?
He's had a short speech.
He is 3 of 5 thus far in his young career. He hands off to Ken Jenkins, and he just does avoid a safety as he is hit hard by Brad Van Pelt. And the only other Columbia football player I can think of is George Stark. Of course, Chet 40 was our director, one of the great basketball players there. Our leader, Roone Arledge, Columbia graduate, but there are not a lot of them in pro football.
They don't have many good basketball players.
Witkowski was a 6th-round pick. Played on a very weak team at Columbia, but he set records for attempts, completions, yardage. He passed just under 8,000 yards for 56 touchdowns. He had 29 touchdowns as a junior and 23 last year. But this is an entirely different game. He probably looked over and said, is that really Howie Long? 2nd and 10. And the man was open. Jenkins was wide open, and Witkowski overthrows.
I think he was so wide open that John just couldn't believe it. And that's that extra adrenaline that pumps in there, and he just zipped it.
Incidentally, the good news, at least for the Raiders, Lester Hayes back in the lineup. Bad news for this youngster.
Yeah, I think that's a case of him being a little pumped up.
Yeah,
and
gotta be.
Not throwing that up. Arm can't be sufficiently warm, and misjudging his receiver.
2:44 remaining in the first half. The Raiders leading 7-0. 12-yard touchdown pass. Mark Wilson to Todd Christensen. Shotgun from the end zone. Here they come. Witkowski unloads one, and he's right on target.
All right.
Witkowski gets it out to his wide receiver, the speedster Mark Nichols. Witkowski brings the Lions out from the shadow of their goalpost. They have a first down at their own 40-yard line. That's Nichols in motion. Witkowski has trouble getting away from the center. The flag is down. Witkowski is down at the line of scrimmage.
Matt Millen got a running start. We call that a rolling start in track and field.
And Kemp now with the Rams from Dartmouth. And now we're watching John Witkowski, who has replaced Gary Danielson. First and 5. Witkowski now in trouble. And very calm, cool Witkowski. He connects with Rubik, and there will be another Lion first down. He plays in the shadow, really, of Lester Hayes and Mike Haynes, but he is a fine, strong safety. First down and 10, the ball inside the 44-yard line for Detroit. Good catch by Rubik, the tight end. That's what you do to youngsters. You go with the blitz. Flags are down once again. Daddio, the rookie from Maryland, the ball carrier. And referee Bob Frederick will have a little meeting game at home if Denver can beat Seattle this Saturday.
I'm going to tell you another story about AstroTurf in a second.
All right. Witkowski gets it to Jones, and he breaks the tackle. And
tough.
just slips at the 45-yard line, where it'll be second down and a long 11. Second down, long 11. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. The Raiders on top, 7-0. The ball at the Raiders' 45-yard line. Witkowski wide open is Jeff Chadwick, and he comes down with the first down inside the 30-yard line near the 29.
That's staying in there and holding your ground, young.
125. They'll get around to them if they keep possession. Dexter Bussey, 10-year veteran for Detroit, comes into the lineup, and he gets the call over the left side. He'll pick up about 3 yards.
I think I'd call one now, wouldn't you? You got 3 of them.
Keep in mind, this began back at the 1-yard line. That's a tough situation to bring a youngster into. Second down and 8 now for Detroit. Witkowski back again.
There you go.
And steps right into Pickell. And had a little help on the outside also.
In defense of John that time, the secondary had him covered like blankets down there, and he got...
Raiders now have 7 sacks. They lead the National Football League through 15 games with 61, taking the lead in Chicago. That's the time remaining. Detroit has 1 timeout. The reverse to Jones, who's looking to throw the ball back. Raiders were fooled, not at all. But now Jones fires into the end zone, trying to get it to Chadwick. Incomplete. That play was designed to come back across the field, back to Witkowski. And the Raiders were not fooled at all. 4 for the year, and this would match his season's best.
Look at those 5 guys right up the middle.
Danielson gets it down, and Murray, the second most accurate field goal kicker in the history of the NFL, hits from 48 yards out. And Detroit stays totally respectable with 41 seconds remaining in the first half. With Doki Williams, an exciting return man for the Raiders. Montgomery from right at the goal line. Breaks into the clear, and Montgomery out close to the 30-yard line. The Raiders will have 35 seconds remaining. They have 3 timeouts. Roosevelt
Knee went right out on him. Lewis knee out.
Marcus Allen on first down. He's out over the 35 to the 37-yard line. And now the Raiders will, I presume, stop the clock, and they indeed do that.
Is a second and third receiver here tonight.
Marcus Allen got 7, so it's second down and 3 with 29 seconds remaining, and the Raiders with 2 timeouts. Wilson trying to get the ball to Barnwell, incomplete. It'll be third down and 3.
For 40 yards, and now this Lions secondary has given them a lot of room.
The other speedster, Doki Williams, has been split to the left. Wilson has the time, and Barnwell steps out of bounds, stops the clock. He has a first down for the Raiders near the 47-yard line. 17 seconds remaining in the half. Barnwell is also there. The speed represented by the Raiders wide receivers all at the top of your screen. Wilson. Oh, wow. He held on to the ball. They're saying no, he was out of bounds. But what concentration by Barnwell. You just don't hurt your team by getting the unsportsmanlike call. Hawkins. Line of scrimmage, that's it. In the arms of William Gay.
Yeah, let's go back in.
All of his friends.
Regroup. We'll regroup at half.
Final seconds ticking down. And the Raiders lead the field with the lead. Marc Wilson. The quarterback, of course, he has a 7-3 lead over Detroit. We'll kick off to the Raiders to begin the second half. The Raiders on top 7-3. Ed Murray. You had a look at Cleo Montgomery, number 28, and Dokie Williams, number 85. Williams with the great speed. Second half underway. Cleo Montgomery from the end zone. Montgomery gets outside. Bobby Martin is there, and he takes him at the 23-yard line. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Budweiser, the King 3-yard line. Marc Wilson, the first half, 7 of 11, 92 yards, and a touchdown, and they fumble the ball, and Wilson quickly covers, and he'll lose a couple of yards on that. Raiders, I'd like to reiterate once again, know they need a win tonight and a win against Pittsburgh next Sunday. And then, of course, they will know the outcome of Denver and Seattle. They play on Saturday, and should Denver win that game, then the Raiders, if they can win tonight and against Pittsburgh, will play their first wild card game at home the weekend before Christmas. And that's important to them. Second down and 12. Marcus Allen. Allen with that stiff arm. You hardly ever see a tackle made on Allen from that angle because he is one of the great stiff arms in the game. It's just like a right lead. Gain of about 5, so it'll be third down and 7. Let's take a look at the stats from the first quarter, then we'll dissolve to the second quarter. Detroit, with their young quarterback, really put up some numbers on this second quarter when John Witkowski came in for Gary Danielson. He had a 47-yard shot to Jeff Chadwick for one of those completions. Just about equal time of possession. As a matter of fact, it is.
You know, one of the stats is not on
third down and 7. Kurt Marsh has moved to center. Dave Dalby went out in the first quarter, came back for a little while, but Marsh is now at center. Wilson with a lot of time. Wide open is Allen, and he comes down with it at the 43-yard line for a first down. Gary Cobb not taking a deep drop. Marcus Allen was there, but Marc Wilson just had too much time.
On the stats that you see, you know, half times and quarters, one of the stats that's not there is return yardage. It hasn't been terribly significant tonight, but a lot of times the return yardage, whether it's a punt return, kickoff return, that can make a big difference. It puts them in a good field position.
With some teams more so than others.
Yeah,
you think
right.
of the Broncos, they're a big team on special teams, and you think of Seattle. The Raiders have never really been a big special teams team.
Bunch of individuals playing out there, right?
First down and 10, the ball at the 44-yard line. And Wilson is back again, and again he has a lot of time. Looking for Dokie Williams. And a leaping interception by Bruce McNorton. There are no flags on this one. Well, he was touched back at the 8-yard line by Dokie Williams, but McNorton comes down with it, and Detroit gets the ball back, and we'll have a look again at the young rookie 6th-round draft pick, John Witkowski at quarterback.
Well, Dokie, I think, may have thought a little more air was in the ball. It may have traveled further. You try to teach your receivers, don't wait for the ball, attack it, go after it. And as you can see, Dokie is falling away from the ball.
But what a nice
McNorton
job.
went after it.
Yeah, he sure did. McNorton. Well,
about 75,000 here, and they are booing the fact that Gary Danielson has stepped into the huddle. Is the quarterback. When the timeout was called, he came to the sidelines. The crowd thought he was leaving for Danielson. They booed. They like this youngster. He pitches out to Jenkins on the first down and 10, and Jenkins moves out over the 10-yard line. Taken there by Jack Squirey, the inside linebacker. Jenkins getting to just about the 12-yard line. A gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6. Mike Davis, we understand, will not be back for the Raiders. Went out with a bruised knee earlier. Dave Dalby has retired at least temporarily, from offensive center. Kurt Marsh, the left guard, has moved to center, and Charlie Hanna, the left offensive guard, has replaced Kurt Marsh. Those are the changes. 2nd and 6. Witkowski is back. Looks over the middle, and he gets it in. And he goes to the tight end, Rob Rubik. And Rubik was driven back. I think he was very close to first down yardage. And they drilled him back. Let's see where they mark it. Stacy Turan is in there for the Raiders for Mike Davis, the rookie 6th-round draft pick out of Notre Dame. 3rd down along 1. Witkowski, I mentioned earlier, 6th-round pick from Columbia. Played on relatively weak teams there, but he set records for attempts, completions. Just under 8,000 yards in his career, 56 touchdowns. Had 29 touchdowns as a junior and 23 as a senior. He tore up the Ivy League.
Oh, they should run a shovel pass. Saw the Raiders bringing all their pass rushers.
That ball deflected as Witkowski really gets hammered back there. The crowd doesn't like it. They've kind of adopted this youngster. He was really popped.
Yeah, they may have been booing, thinking that Alzado had come in a little bit late. What you said, OJ, I think with a shovel pass or whatever it is, they didn't need that much yardage, so they just needed just a couple of yards, something very quickly.
Yeah, they needed 3 yards, and with Greg Townsend coming in, number 93, you knew he would rush upfield outside. I think I'd have ran that little shovel pass right inside of him.
Cleo Montgomery at the Raiders' 42-yard line. Mike Black will pick somewhere around the 6-yard line. And Black hits off a booming kick.
Oh, it does.
Low, but carries to the 25. Montgomery promptly brings it back out over the 40 to the 42. It was a 57-yard boot by Mike Black. Did not have much height on it, and Montgomery was able to bring it back out over the 40. We'll be back in the Silverdome in Pontiac with more of the Raiders and the Lions in a moment. In the AFC Western Division, Mark Wilson has the only touchdown of the game, a pass to Todd Christensen from 12 yards out. Ed Murray had a 48-yard field goal for Detroit. Frank Hawkins over the right side on 1st down and 10. He moves out somewhere around the 43-yard line. Gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9. It was Michael Koper defensively there for Detroit.
Well, the Raiders have had a history this season and in past seasons of playing down to their competition. This year, I think, more so than in previous years, but they want to win, and they'll have big hot spots. They had a chance to go up 14-zip.
2nd down and 9, and Wilson is back. Gets in trouble, and he gets away from Gay. Oh, fires it, is picked off.
Don't throw that kind.
Van Teddy, the middle linebacker. And tempers are flaring on the Raiders sideline. Now they're flaring out on the field. We have a couple of scuffles going on.
The sideline flare was caused by a couple of the Lions going after Mark Wilson after the interception. Try to block him.
Ken Van Teddy gets the interception. Wilson got in deep trouble trying to get away from William Gay.
So one of the reasons the Raiders have played down to some of their lesser competition this year.
Ken Jenkins back in the game offensively, a setback for Detroit. Fake reverse by Jenkins.
Nice little move by Jenkins.
Jenkins just powers all the way to the 45-yard line. He'll get 8 yards out of that. Raiders weren't really fooled by it, but this little man, 2nd-year man out of Bucknell, who seldom, if ever, fumbles the ball. He's only 5'8", 185 pounds. He just lowered that head and got an extra yard or 2 out of it.
Tough runner. Looked like Meadowlark Lemon from the Globetrotters the way he hit that ball there.
Now you see me, now you don't. Now you see me, now you don't.
Well, there is a Raider that is down. We did not see him for a moment. We take a look from our reverse angle, and it's Lester Hayes once again. Lester Hayes was in on that tackle. He was shaken up earlier in the 2nd quarter, hurt his elbow. And the man we may be seeing before long, Jim Plunkett. NFL champions 3 different times. They're cheering a 4-9-1 team, and specifically young John Witkowski at quarterback. 2nd down, long 1, flag is down, and this is Jenkins in trouble. And almost got out of it as he's upended by Turan, the rookie from Notre Dame. Flag is down at the line of scrimmage, and Turan is down at the 46.
Well, the Seattle fans should tell these Detroit fans that you start the wave when the other team has the ball.
That's it.
Illegal motion on the part of Detroit. 10-18 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Raiders on top 7-3.
Little learning is a dangerous thing.
Marc Nichols in motion.
Boy, and he's got a good start.
Nichols, batted it down.
Oh, Marc.
That's not the idea. Mike Haynes there defensively, but I'll tell you, if Nichols had continued on his fly pattern, he would have been wide open.
It's a terrific pattern in that he gets a running start by going in motion. Goes back to the kind of a close side. No other receivers over there. That young man had to stay with him.
Well, Mike Nichols was a #1 draft choice a few years ago out of San Jose State, and the book on him is he's been a little inconsistent. He's pretty good running down the field catching the ball, but he doesn't catch the ball well going over the middle.
San Jose State, also East Bakersfield High School and Bakersfield Junior College.
Out of way. His name's Marc, too.
3rd down and 7. From the shotgun, Witkowski, the quarterback. Witkowski gets the pass complete to Chadwick. He's short of the first down, however, near the 45. It'll bring up 4th down and about 2 yards, and I think we'll see the punting unit.
That was good position by McElroy that time. He laid off just enough to let him throw the ball, and I got a feeling that he knew that he would be short for that first down. He didn't let him get past the first down marker.
Mike Black, 7th round draft pick a year ago from Arizona State. Punted well tonight. Cleo Montgomery back for the Raiders. He'll guess with him as Black will probably be looking for the corner. Either that or he'll hang it high looking for the coverage.
Fake it. When I was in Buffalo, we had a lot of games like this, and we want to fake it, go for it.
Oh, he may have caught something.
He nailed it.
Yes, he has. Mike Black puts it out. Looks like to be inside the 10. It is at the 9-yard line, but a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Flag is down.
What a nice effort by Marc Black.
And they're going to bring it back. Illegal receiver downfield, and Black will have to do it all over again. Montgomery now has stepped up to about the 14-yard line. Mike Black will try to do it all over again. Looking for the same sideline, and he has hit another beautiful punt. Will it catch the end zone? No. And it takes a Detroit bounce. Came right back. Black turned that over with a perfect spiral, and it took a Detroit bounce to the 5-yard line. A 45-yard punt, but more important, the Raiders will start at their 5-yard line. Good effort by Mike Black. Mark Wilson has coughed up a couple of interceptions, and now the Raiders at their own 5-yard line. They lead 7-3, 9:13 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Wilson looking for Dokie Williams. Williams steps right in front of McNorton. He has a lot of speed.
Look out.
And run down by Alvin Hall after he had to do a little juking with McNorton, but good timing. McNorton had his back to the ball. Williams actually, I think, faked him just a little bit and came down with it. A 73-yard pickup.
We're talking about a receiver adjusting to the ball. He was going to Dokie Williams all the way. It's an interesting drive. It was going to be interesting to see how this drive ends. Look at Dokie, a great adjustment to the ball. You saw Mark Clayton do that quite a bit last week.
Well, Dokie heard you tell him to do it a while ago, so he got on to it.
It's rare that you'll see Dokie get caught in the open field, but he was obviously starting from a dead start, and the other defender had a running start, Alvin.
Yeah. 1st down and 10. The Raiders on the 73-yard connection. Wilson to Dokie Williams. Marcus Allen right side. As he does so well. Back against the grain. Works to the 15-yard line. A gain of 7 before he's upended by Kofor.
I got a stat for you, Don. You know, the Raiders have started drives inside their 20 33 times this year, and they've only scored 1 touchdown starting from there.
This could be 2.
This could be 2.
And, you know, the Lions have just almost the opposite of that, don't they? When they start, they've had more touchdowns scored when they started back from behind their 20.
Allen has retaken the AFC rushing lead. He has 54 yards on the night. 2nd down and 3. Marcus Allen. Wow. Fine tackle on Marcus Allen by Curtis Green, the inside left tackle in that 4-3 of Detroit.
The worst thing that a running back can do is he's got to come to the quarterback to get the ball, and he's looking at a defender already in the backfield waiting to tackle him. He can't make a move because he doesn't have the ball, so he has to go get the ball, and when he gets the ball, he's going to get tagged, and that's what just happened to Marcus Allen.
Loss of a couple, it'll be 3rd and 5.
Curtis slipped that block rather quickly, didn't he?
You want to tell the quarterback, pitch it, pitch it.
Keep it, keep it.
The Raiders are in a Todd Christensen mode. Doki Williams split to the left. Out to the right is Barnwell, and now Barnwell moves over to Doki Williams' side, and Christensen is
They were in a Todd Christensen mode, all right.
coming off the line of scrimmage, and that'll be 5 more. Flags are everywhere. We got a second flag also that was thrown later.
Well, you're probably right. That was probably Todd's call.
Delay on the offense.
Delay.
But Todd wasn't delaying.
No, he didn't delay at all.
He knew he was running out of time. I'm getting out of here. So it'll be 3rd down and 10. They used up their 30 seconds. 6:47 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the Raiders struggling against a 4-9-1 Detroit Lions team.
It's something to see big number 87 Dave Casper come into the game, because you can think of all those great years with the Raiders when he would be the man right now.
Yeah.
3rd and 10. That's Dave Casper in motion. Marcus Allen, they keep it on the ground. And sliding all the way over from the right side, Doug English, and it'll be 4th down, and Chris Barr will be trotting out.
You surprised?
I was a little surprised. I know Marcus was happy. Those on those 3rd and obvious pass situations, that's when a back really wants the ball. He wants to break it, and that's when he can get his average per carry up. Unfortunately, the defensive team, the Detroit Lions, was looking for it.
Chris Barr comes on. He's 19 of 25. Has already hit tonight. And kept his string of conversions alive. Charlie Hanner, he has done a lot of deep snapping, though. Marc Wilson is the holder on a 37-yard attempt. And Chris Barr is perfection. So the Raiders extend their lead. They lead by 7. We have 5:48 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Back there with Alvin Hall, and Chris Barr will kick off. Barr having just hit from 37 yards out. High kick by Barr. And this will be Manley, the rookie from Northern Arizona, with a lot of speed. You got to use it, though. And hesitate in that gap.
And he hesitated because he saw Chris Barr.
Friday night, we'll be in San Francisco watching the 49ers. The 49ers 14-1 going against the Rams. Here is the situation for the Rams. If they defeat the 49ers, the Rams could clinch the wild card. Then perhaps Tampa Bay will be in.
Between 7 and 8 o'clock.
On 1st and 10. Oh. To the 35-yard line, a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Giants fans obviously are going to be rooting for the Rams. Dallas fans are going to be rooting just the other way.
Nacho Randy.
2nd down and 6. We mentioned it's been a bad week for my pal O.J. Dickerson gets 104 yards on Friday night. He's going to get one of your other records, O.J., at combined total yardage from scrimmage.
I wonder, is that a part of the aging process? Watch your records fall.
You got it, my man.
Nice thing is you had records.
2nd and 6. Witkowski puts one up. He threw it where it had to be thrown because it was just absolute dead solid perfect coverage by Mike Haynes.
How many of your records have been broken, Dandy?
I had one.
I know Pastorini got one.
Yeah, broke my heart. I think Pastorini did it on purpose, as a matter of fact.
That was total fumbles for a given season.
That's right. And I think the last couple of them were giveaways. He wanted the record so badly. Yeah, could have been. I don't know. I've talked to Dan about that. He denies it, of course.
3rd down now and 6. We have 4:49 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
How many games did Dan play?
Yeah, that's true. That's another thing. He had more opportunities. He played more games than I did to break that.
Witkowski from the shotgun. Uh-oh. Steps outside of Howie Long.
Back and run.
Ooh, and Sean Jones had zeroed in on Witkowski, and Sean Jones is 6'7", 265. But Witkowski runs up there close to a 1st down. He is perhaps a yard short, and it's
gone a few times. This time they have a return on. That's why no one really rushed the quarterback.
This one doesn't turn over, and Montgomery will have an opportunity. And out over the 25 to the 27. Brazil is there for Detroit. That time a 40-yard punt by Mike Black. Raiders get it back, and Marc Wilson talks it over with Tom Flores. He'll stay in the ball game. We keep speculating that perhaps we'll see a little bit of Jim Plunkett tonight, because Jim Plunkett has not played in 9 weeks. down and 10 Raiders at their own 26. Wilson to Allen. And a good tackle. That's William Graham, the strong safety, with a good effort against a very shifty Marcus Allen.
What are you laughing about?
Oh, I'm laughing because I know I've talked to Marcus about that on a few occasions.
Yeah.
That when you're out there and they don't throw the ball right away, and all of a sudden the guy who's covering you starts running towards you, don't throw the ball now. You know, I don't have a chance now. Don't throw the ball out here now.
That's like that handoff you were talking about a while ago. Don't give me the handoff. The thing's gone.
A gain of 1. Second down and 9. Wilson back. Wilson in trouble. And down goes Wilson in the arms of Jimmy Williams. Wilson, he puts his speed to the left. That's Barnwell and Dopey Williams. The man you always have to consider, of course, the Todd Christensen and Allen out of the backfield. That's Allen in motion as Wilson spreads out the coverage. Putting one up again for Doki. And off his fingertips. That was Barnwell, however.
That was a throw instead of a pass.
Explain that.
Well, I mean, he just got back. He's not really trying to hit somebody. He just knew generally where he was going to be, so he's going to throw it down there. Maybe one of his guys will run under it.
I guess if you have that kind of speed, down there at the bottom of the league with them, only one of the problems that seem to compound themselves in a 4-9 in one season. Rush was on, but Guy hits a beauty, and he drives Bobby Marc all the way back to the 11-yard line.
What a catch he made, though.
The little wide receiver did make a good catch, and he works it back out close to the 23-yard line before Derek Jensen was there. I remind you, college football excitement continuing on ABC with the Gator Bowl on December the 28th. The 7th-ranked South Carolina Bowl today around the league. We'll be bringing you the Pro Bowl from Honolulu January 27th. It's been a magical year in sports here at ABC. On 1st and 10, Witkowski trying to get deep to Thompson. And great coverage. Hayes on the inside, the free safety, then McElroy on the coverage also. Lester's having a tough night tonight. He's gone out of the lineup twice, shaken up.
Well, Leonard Thompson has always been a big play receiver. This may be his best year ever. He has 48 catches coming into the game, but it's interesting watching Lester cover him. You know, ever since they made that no stick-'em rule, Lester stopped intercepting passes. I think he had about 10 or 11 interceptions one year when he used to wear that stick-'em all over him. And, you know, I think it's a psychological thing. I really don't think it's it made him catch the ball any better.
Second down and 10. Detroit just out over their 23-yard line. Witkowski looks for Nichols, and in and out of his hands as Lester Hayes gave him a pop as he went up for it. I remind you, because of the early start of Monday 10 now, and the Lions will go from the shotgun. Witkowski changing it up, hollering out the automatic, and he just waited a little long. Still their leading rusher, and he hasn't played in 7 weeks. Third down and 15. Witkowski in a lot of trouble, and he slides out. And now he goes down, Bill Pickell. When Bill Pickell comes in that lineup, he is everywhere.
He really is. Rutgers.
That will not be a sack, as Witkowski had pulled the ball down and was running with it, but it will bring up 4th down, and Mike Black, who is getting a little exercise here in the second half, comes out to punt one position. Cleo Montgomery. Raiders should have good field position. Montgomery has positioned himself at the Raiders' 40-yard line. 1:49 remaining in the third quarter. The Raiders on top. They lead 10-3.
This is an example where that return yardage. Look at that.
I told you they go after it.
Whoa, and a flag is down, and Black is looking for first down, but a flag is down.
Holding. Oh, no.
I'll bring it back. Several big plays tonight have been brought back because of the penalty. They have plagued Detroit throughout the season.
A very alert move by Black that time.
Field. Detroit has now been penalized 9 times for 84 yards. That has been the Raiders' 12th man.
There's a good punt.
Black gets it to turnover and drives Montgomery back inside his own 40.
Or if you can just get there,
Well, what a block that was.
Safe.
Montgomery got a tremendous block and gets it back close to midfield. Barnwell is in a little wing position at the top of your screen, now moves in motion. Wilson loses the ball coming away from the center.
Twice.
Covers it now.
Oh, I think that's the
There
third
will be a
time.
loss of about 4.
Might be. That's so nice of Santa. He's always spoken so highly of you.
Second down, 15. Wilson, very cool, gets it to Todd Christensen. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage and then stretches for 3 more. Third down and 7 as we pick up fourth quarter action. The ball near the Detroit Lions 45-yard line. Marc Wilson apparently going all the way as we open here in the fourth quarter. Wilson. And Dokie Williams doesn't handle it. He would have had the first down. Wide open. Actually, Wilson could have made that a little easier for him.
That's a real good point, Frank. I mean, you could look at it and you say, okay, Dokie should have caught the ball. But it starts back the other way. The ball should have been easier to catch because he did have time to throw, and Dokie was so wide open.
But Ray Guy pulls it off the carpet, looks for the corner.
And gets it.
And he did it again. Ray Guy led the league, putting it out inside the 20 coming into tonight, and this time he catches it at the 8-yard line.
That's nice. What a weapon he is. I swear he is really a real plus on anybody's football team, and he's done it for so many years. I can see why a first-round draft choice is Ray Guy is certainly deserving of a first-round draft choice.
I mentioned earlier that the Raiders weren't exceptional on special teams, but when you consider Ray Guy, I guess they are.
Yeah.
It's the best in the NFL in scoring in drives starting inside their 20. Well, we'll find out.
At the 8-yard line, first down and 10, Detroit. Jones in motion. Jenkins, strong little runner at 5'8" and 185 pounds, and Jenkins just makes the surge and gets about 4 yards out of it. He has been seeing a lot of playing time.
And doing a good job.
2nd and 5. And Witkowski turned the wrong way.
Those things happen.
And pays for it. Stacy Turan, the rookie from Notre Dame, was right there. Witkowski, in case you weren't with us, has replaced an injured Gary Danielson at quarterback. This is Doug English, Pro Bowler a year ago.
He's a big guy out of Texas that was going into the oil business, decided he's going to give up football. And then he looked at the oil business a little bit more closely, decided he'd come back and play some more football.
Laid out the entire season of 1980.
One of the better tackles.
Yeah, I saw him on a local interview here today, and he was talking about, well, you know, you're 4-9-1. He said, I don't care. He says, boy, you go in that stadium and you start yelling and you smell that cigar smoke, something makes the hair on your neck stand up. I'm going to play.
Out of the shotgun on third down. The reverse, and it goes to Jenkins. And Howie Long is not fooled at all. Jenkins, however, turning it into something. Jenkins for the first down with a superb individual effort. He got away first from Howie Long, and he gets the first down at the 20-yard line. In the fourth quarter, and the Raiders are leading 10-3. A win tonight, a win over Pittsburgh, and they perhaps can get the first wild card game on their home field in the LA Coliseum. That's what they're looking for tonight. Whistles blow.
Too much
time. Happens when you bring a youngster in there.
Delay the game by the offense.
First down 15 following the delay of game penalty.
They've scored 2 from the other parts of the field.
Look out, boy.
And down goes Witkowski. Interesting story, this young man. Came in a 6th-round draft pick, as we told you earlier. If you weren't with us, set all kinds of Ivy League records, almost all of them out of Columbia. Threw for 23 touchdown passes last year, 29 the year before. And he came in under the most adverse of circumstances. When Danielson was hurt, he took it over at the 1-yard line and marched the Detroit Lions right down the field. They really got the fans hopped up. There's some 67,000 of them that have shown up tonight for a 4-9-1 team, but they have been cheering this youngster ever since he came into the game. That's the 8th sack, and the Raiders are now up to 62.
Beautiful job of McKill. As Don and I were both trying to find out if Rutgers was in the Ivy League, the school that Bill Packel went to. We found out it's not.
Well, of course not.
From the end zone, Witkowski gets it to Jones.
We knew that.
Jones works hard and gets back out to the 18-yard line, close to the original line of scrimmage, where it's going to put young John Witkowski in a 3rd and long situation.
Ho, ho, ho.
3rd and long, and believe me, the Raiders front down 4 will just nail the ears back, and they will come.
And there's one of them.
Howie Long.
There's 2 of them.
And Witkowski gets away from Howie Long, but it's deflected, batted away by Packel.
That Packel doesn't have a way of being in the right spot, doesn't he?
He sure does.
Howie Long made him duck first, shoved him back to the inside, got a little more pressure. Packel was right there to look like hit his arm or at least deflected.
4th down, Mike Black on once again. The Raiders should get it back. Good field position.
Packel's been everywhere. I think he has 3 or 4 sacks tonight. The Raiders have had the NFL Defensive Player of the Week the last 3 weeks. Rod Martin, Mike Davis, and last week, of course, Mike Haynes.
Miami also ripped off over 500 yards against them.
That is amazing. 470 of it passing.
Black doesn't get it to turn over, but it drives Montgomery back close to his 30-yard line. And he finds a big gap. Could do it all the way. Mike Black is the last Detroit Lion. Those flags are down. And Cleo Montgomery, who replaced Greg Pruitt as the return man a couple of games ago, that's his first touchdown return. It goes 69 yards.
But like O.J. says, they don't pay much attention to those special teams. I was just thinking.
Mike Black hit a good punt. And Cleo Montgomery, he used to return punts in 80 and 81, and then Greg Pruitt came in and took that job. But Pruitt had fumbleitis early in the year, so they brought Cleo back, and he did the right thing, O.J. Saw the gap and turned it on.
You saw the great move. I think this is Ted Watts. No, that's number 30, Tracy Turan. He makes a nice block, and Wilbert, he looks like his brother Wilbert Montgomery from Philadelphia.
There you go, Cleo.
Chris Barr is on for the conversion. 10:44 remaining in the game, and the Raiders strike from 69 yards out on a Cleo Montgomery punt return. The Raiders now move out on top 17-3. And there's a youngster.
Way to go, Cleo.
Yeah.
Looks like your brother also.
Sleep at the Golden Gate.
I can't wait to see my old 49ers and see Eric Dickerson. The Rams need it. The 49ers are playing like champions anyway. Should be a great game.
Boy, are they ever. 14-1.
A little revenge for the Rams. I think the 49ers treated them poorly the last time they played, 33-0.
Barr to kick off. Mantley is back along with Alvin Hall. And Alvin Hall will bring it out. Flag is down. Hall, good effort to get out over the 20-yard line, going down in the arms of Otis McKinney, but a flag is back at the 10-yard line. Detroit, meanwhile, they're not thinking playoffs. They're thinking getting through the season, some sort of self-respect. They close out on Sunday against the Chicago Bears.
Illegal block on the kick return team, number 92.
I think that's the 10th penalty now against Detroit. And it'll close much of the evening.
That's where he started, wasn't it, on his other goal post.
First down, Witkowski. This time, one of the few poorly thrown balls. Trying to get it to Leonard Thompson and trying to work in front of Lester Hayes. But he was reading about Lester Hayes when he was in high school.
And Van Pelt, too. You know, you think about it. Van Pelt just looks so much bigger. He just looks big and tall out there. He just doesn't look like a linebacker.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons the Raiders wanted him, especially on that left side of that defense. They used to get it from Ted Hendricks.
That's right.
You think about that great Dallas team with Tall and Dutton coming from that side. It really impedes the quarterback's vision to that. You know, most quarterbacks will throw to their right, and they can't see. They got to throw over those guys.
Second down and 10.
That's a good point. See, I hadn't really thought of that.
Howie Long was close, and Witkowski unloads it, fortunately, in the general area of a receiver. It was Jeff Barnes who finally got to Witkowski, but Howie Long just about collected him in the end zone. Howie Long is something a little different. and he is having himself quite a night, along with Lyle Alzado. There's Howie Long.
Big Howie came into the game with 9.5 sacks, but he's had about 40 penalties called against linemen trying to block him, holding him. Now watch how Howie in the middle of the screen.
That statistic is never.
He just went right through, didn't he?
That is a stat, OJ, that you touch on that is never recorded. How many times do you force a holding? How many times do you force an illegal movement on the line of scrimmage?
He certainly forced him out of the pocket right there.
Oh, they're booing
That was
him.
Leonard Thompson that they threw to, but it was just so far overthrown, it was not close. And that's not one of your better ones, but when you're back in there, backed up, that's the way it goes. Mike Black's going to come in to do the punting right now.
Well, you say one thing about Wiskowski. He started off 5 for 6, but after they sacked him one time, and he's had a pretty tough time ever since then. Let's see if Cleo can do it again.
That's right. Let's see if Big Brother probably watched him. Cleo says, I think I can do it now. It's going to be a little bit more difficult.
I think I might be back with you now.
We've missed you.
We've had power problems throughout the evening. I just lost my microphone.
That was our chance, Don.
I know.
Mike Black to punt from the end zone. Cleo Montgomery again driven back as Black continues to kick the ball well.
Oh,
Here comes Montgomery again. The last time 69 yards on a TD. This time he slips and goes down at the 42-yard line. So the Raiders find field position once again as they begin to dominate. We'll be right back. Injured in the 6th game of the season. A torn abdominal muscle. Has not played since. Has been ready to play for several weeks now.
I've had one of those, Frank, and they're the most difficult to heal because you don't really know how to treat them. You just have to take some time and rest.
He's a great story, Jim Plunkett.
Yeah.
Pulls away from the center, and again, keep in mind, he is not working with Dave Dalby, who was injured earlier. Kurt Marsh has moved over, and Marc Wilson, as we have seen, has also had his problems taking the snap from Kurt Marsh. So Plunkett gets initiated quickly on his very first offensive play.
He says, I don't remember it being this tough back in October.
I wonder how much time Kurt Marsh has worked at center, because for most of the season they had Jim Romano playing the backup center, and he played some games, and they traded him, I guess, about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Boy, those numbers don't tell the complete story. A great story of Jim Plunkett. He has been cast aside several different times. New England first, then San Francisco, resurrected by the Raiders. He's won 2 Super Bowls after he was written off twice. 2nd and 10, the reverses to Kenny King. Looks back inside, and he looks right into the eyes of Ken Fantetti. And there's a loss back to the 45-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 13. Of course, Plunkett is in there, as we mentioned earlier. They want to have Plunkett feel some sort of contact, some sort of combat, if you will. He has been out of the lineup for 9 weeks. Not that I guess he really needs it, just timing perhaps.
Well, they've clinched a playoff berth. What they're really playing for right now is, and to them, it's very important, I think, OJ, is that home field advantage.
And plus, Jim has always been a big play type of quarterback, maybe not always consistent, and this offense is a big play offense.
3rd and 13. Plunkett going for the big play, far overthrowing Barnwell. Now that's exactly why they want him to get in there and get the feel of it, get it back again. He has not thrown a competitive pass, as I mentioned, in 9 weeks, and they want to have him ready.
He just locked in on Barnwell that time. Barnwell was pretty well covered. It would have been an extraordinarily good pass, so that would have been a complete. But I think he had his mind made up he was going to throw there.
Well, I have the feeling that they're going to need Jim at some time during the playoffs, especially if Seattle wins this weekend. That means they're going to have to go to Denver, they're going to have to go to Miami, and then they're going to have to go to Seattle, assuming Seattle wins the game over whoever wins the Central Division.
And assuming that they beat Denver, you've got them going all the way there.
Here is Ray Guy, the team they've lost to, by the way, twice this year. Robbie Martin is back at the 10, but Ray Guy has been dazzling tonight, punting the ball out of bounds. Ray Guy doesn't mind taking the delay of game, and he's going to get it. So they'll back him up 5.
The offense, 4th down.
Sort of early to be trying.
The Steelers, which could be disastrous for the Steelers next Sunday. Detroit, Denver win over Seattle, and they would have the home field for the first wild card game. Here comes Robbie Martin.
Good move by Robbie.
Good move.
Way to go, Robbie.
And Ray Guy made the stop. A guy, a fine athlete, good defensive back in his collegiate years, and the backup quarterback. He made the saving tackle. But Detroit has fairly good field position at the 32. The Detroit Lions with the football. They have played well tonight, considering their record and considering they're playing against the Raiders, perhaps the hottest team in football at the moment. And Witkowski dodges another bullet and collects a pair of them as he picks up about 4 yards out of the 35. Brad Van Pelt was there again on Witkowski.
You can tell he hasn't been around long. He hasn't learned the quarterback slide, has he? He gets down there.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, guys. It's not quite that bad. No.
About 4 years ago when we first came upon those bags down in New Orleans when they changed their name to Aints.
Yeah.
They had about 50,000 of them there one night.
They really did.
You look at this Detroit team, you got to wonder what's wrong with them, because they have basically the same defensive players, and they have what appears to be what should be a good defensive team, and they have some good talent on this offensive unit, and you wonder why they can't win this year.
2nd down and 6.
Look at him.
Witkowski tries to get the ball off Jack Squirey. Put those big arms up, batted it away. Wondered about height. Witkowski is 6'1", a 205-pounder. And speaking of height and quarterbacks, we had a talk with Monty Clark, the Detroit Lion head coach, about Doug Flutie, who he is very high on Doug Flutie.
I think he had a good point. He says, you know, you got to go with the guy's record, and what he's done, he's won. He's got a good strong arm. He said he'd love to have him.
Yep, and I think he'd love to be here next year. There's been a lot of rumors around there that he may not. There was even a few rumors today, and I repeat rumors, that Chuck Knox may be coming back here, but they were only rumors.
I would think that's quite a rumor. 3rd and 6. Witkowski this time feeling a little bit of pressure.
That was it.
He threw that a little more quickly than he had to.
You got it right.
Thompson. He didn't really have to, and it'll bring out the punting unit.
It's good, you know, the thing that he's getting, though, you know, you hate to get it when anybody gets hurt.
Way up in the weekly stats. Mike Black on to punt.
Maybe the special teams, when you're 4 and 9 and 1, are where it shows more than any place else. Because if you've been running down those things all year long, you get tired of doing that.
Oh. Off the side of Black's foot, but it still carries to the 21-yard line. That time, Cleo Montgomery tried to break it back inside, slips and goes down near the 27-yard line. 42-yard punt by Mike Black. Once again, reminding you, because of perhaps he should really warm up. On 1st and 10, Marcus Allen gets a couple as the entire front 4 works on Marcus Allen.
It's sort of surprising that Marcus is in there, but I guess, you know, you got a quarterback like Plunkett. He's a starter basically, and you want to give him the opportunity to play with the guys he may have to play with in the playoffs. But you would think with time running out in a 14-point lead that they would start resting some of the guys.
You know, he gets better with the work too. He was magnificent in the playoffs a year ago. He really was. Against Pittsburgh, 159 yards, 154 against Seattle, and of course the Super Bowl, 191. Just keep him in high gear. They have really got a weapon in that man, 32, Marcus Allen. 2nd and 8. And
you can tell Jim hasn't played in a while.
Missing the handoff. Looking very rusty. Frank Hawkins was the intended ball carrier. Earlier, he overthrew Barnwell by at least 10 yards.
He's been everywhere. He won the Rose Bowl. He's won a couple of Super Bowls.
Rookie of the Year. Heisman Award. 3rd and 10 now for Plunkett. Got a man open. It's Marcus Allen. Allen with a great cutback. There are no flags. He can do so many things.
He can.
That's why they had him in there, I guess. 73-yard touchdown. And that has to help Jim Plunkett.
And I think that helps Marcus's, you know, he didn't score down on the goal line on 2 tries earlier. He leads the NFL in scoring from non-kickers.
And look at he gets open.
Simple pattern. He just ran a little.
Would you believe a little screen on the part of Christensen? You saw 46 pick off the linebacker, Jimmy Williams.
That's the good move, mate. Makes a nice little zigzag on you, but when you talk about Jim Plunkett, he can look lousy, he can have an off night, and then he makes the big play.
I might have just said that.
Did you?
But Marcus is the same way, as a matter of fact. Marcus can look kind of sluggish there, and all of a sudden he'll break one open, do the same thing.
But Plunkett has always been a big play quarterback. He's perfect for this Raider offense.
Chris Barr with Ray Guy holding. And the Raiders move out on top 24-3. And one of their goals, a win tonight, looks fairly secure. They'll be thinking about Pittsburgh next week.
A bit heavier than a screen, don't you think? When Todd ran it, I mean, it was a shield.
Chris Barr to kick off. Manley is back along with Alvin Hall. And this will be Pete Manley, a rookie from Northern Arizona. Out to the 23-yard line. 1,000 yards rushing, over 165 receptions.
Pretty nice little pocket to start with.
Well, I'll tell you something. He's the one back. I believe that before his career is over, he's going to have 1,000 yards receiving as well as 1,000 yards rushing in one season. He had a shot at it this year, but in the last 3 games, I think he's only caught maybe two passes.
That'll help him right there.
The new quarterback, Mike Machurik, is in. Third-year man out of Idaho State. As I mentioned earlier, 32% in his previous action. Nice. Good shot this time to Nichols, and Nichols with a fine catch behind him comes down with the first down at the 45-yard line. Let's take a look at this scoring drive, and a whole bunch of it 73 yards to be exact.
Typical Jim Plunkett led drive, couple of nothings and a touchdown.
Well, that is so true.
That's not a drive, that's an excursion.
Plunkett did start the first 6 games for the Raiders. They looked awful, but they won 5 of those 6 games. On 1st and 10, Machurik back. Machurik not timing it out too well with Nichols that time as he overthrows by about 5 yards. We're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
Eyewitness News follows the game here on WABC TV Channel 7 New York.
The Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, where the Raiders came in tonight looking for a victory, hoping for a win next week against the Steelers, hoping Denver will defeat Seattle. And if that scenario should take place, well, then the Raiders will get their wild card game at home against Los Angeles. They really are not in control of their own destiny, but they can contribute.
Christmas did not come early.
Second down and 10. That one batted away.
All right.
And Pickell tries to come down with it. I don't know who got the hand on it.
Pickell had it. Evidently, he doesn't have good hands, but I think Pickell is trying to be NFL Defensive Player of the Week.
You weren't with us earlier. It was a very tight game. It was 7-3 at halftime. And the Raiders have slowly worn down the Detroit Lions, and they now lead 24-3.
Henry Lawrence, you see him there, number 7. You wouldn't believe it. He has an excellent voice. He plays at and sings at some of the local spots around Los Angeles. Even made an album.
You sing very well, O.J.
Give me a break.
That's rusting on an open time.
3rd and 10, looking deep and trying to get it to Manley, the speedy rookie out of Northern Arizona, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down.
So Henry did limp off a little bit earlier in the ball game.
Yeah.
But he still
with the weaker things.
Yep, you're very rarely you're going to beat them with your outside receivers. Your tight end and running backs are going to have to catch passes to beat this Raider team.
On 4th down, Machurik is back. Cal really levels Machurik.
Pickell's having a night.
Dexter Bussey, the intended receiver, but Machurik showing a lot of guts just to stand there. He could see Pickell bearing down on him.
Yeah.
Moving on to Miami, or Miami and Dallas. All sorts of implications there. And we follow this game as we look at Kenny King. No one has ever won 15 games in an NFL season. Think back to when the Dolphins were undefeated. That was a 14-game season. The 49ers can do it on Friday night.
I've forgotten who they lost to. Do you remember? Who beat San Francisco?
Pittsburgh. I believe it was Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh?
They had a chance to tie it in the end, and they had a few chances to score. I think they blew it.
2nd down and 8. 43-yard line of Detroit. Plunkett hands off to Chester Willis. That's his 4th attempt of the season. So we're seeing some of the players that Tom Flores would not be going with under ordinary circumstances.
The stars of tomorrow.
They'll have to wait a long time, particularly this man, for Marcus Allen to disappear from that backfield.
It's awfully good to have that opportunity to do that.
Tomorrow. Stars of the
Right.
90s. I should have said it that way.
Ticking down close to 3 minutes. The Raiders looking over a 3rd down and 8. Allen now 57 yards on the night. The Detroit defense has been tough. They've given up big plays, and they've had a lot of penalties. The flag is down as Plunkett finds Todd Christensen.
Now that was nicely done. Todd
Plunkett paid for that.
But Todd moved in there very well, opened up, turned around, and just kind of slid a little bit one way or another. Appears to be, I thought, an offside against the Lions. But that was a nice move by Plunkett to kind of hold his ground.
Gotta like Jim Plunkett.
Defense, number 62 is offside, and the penalty will be declined. First down.
Curtis Green moving earlier, and it'll be first down Raiders at close to the 22-yard line.
I don't think you're going to see Jim Plunkett starting maybe in the next few weeks, but
No way.
I don't think they're going to wait as long.
The quarterback they feel of the future is Mark Wilson. They want to know that they can go back to Plunkett, and he's a kind of quarterback that can handle it emotionally too.
Well, as Plunkett has proven.
Cliff Branch, and that's his first reception of the night and his 500th career reception.
All right, Cliff.
The guy
saved the ball, I noticed.
I'm glad he got that. I've been watching him for a lot of years, 13 to be exact, and really one of the talented receivers ever to come into this game. He's given us some great feels. Remember those days, Don, with Kenny Stabler dropping back and hanging that thing up?
Between the two of them, it was always exciting, and usually they did what we came to see them do.
So Cliff Branch has his 500th reception. Picks up 8, second down and 2. Kenny King gets to the outside, and he'll run over you, given the opportunity. He gets the first down inside the 10. Alvin Hall made the stop.
They had a little clipping on that downfield. Sam Sill looked like he was coming back to try to help Kenny, and may have blocked his man from behind.
They're going to back the Raiders up. Good effort by Kenny King.
Didn't Kenny King come to the Raiders from someplace like Houston or something?
Yeah. He said he had a T-shirt once that says, "I block for the Heisman."
I blocked for that's right.
Well, he blocked for Earl Campbell down there. He blocked for Billy Sims at Oklahoma. And he blocked for Marcus Allen as we looked at Cliff Branch.
67 touchdowns in his career. He's had 22 100-yard games, 500 receptions now.
I love what Cliff said. They said, well, you know, you're coming in as a wild card. He says, that's cool, man. That means $6 more thousand for me.
He doesn't mind playing that extra game.
Yeah, I don't mind playing that extra game.
The ball placed just inside the 25-yard line. Second down and 12. Kenny King once again left side, and down goes Kenny King. Back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be up a third down and 10. As we card because Denver and Seattle will get it on Saturday. A Denver victory, however, and the Raiders will host the first wild card playoff, and it will be against Seattle. That's Chester Willis working the left side on 3rd and 10. Alvin Hall was there defensively. The other thing they have accomplished, they have an unbelievable record on Monday Night Football. They now are 24-3-1.
Amazing.
You know, it's funny thinking about the Raiders playing Pittsburgh next week. They must be considered the favorites. Then you think about Cincinnati playing Buffalo. They must be considered the favorites. Can you imagine Cincinnati making the playoffs this year?
They could do it with a 500 record. That'd be the first time that's ever happened.
It could even be said to be likely that they will.
Well, I'm happy for Sam White. I'm a little, I feel bad for a lot of the Pittsburgh players if it turns out that way. Oh, Sam was one of my coaches when I was in San Francisco.
Chris Barr, 37-yard attempt. Ray Guy will provide the hold.
Oh, missed.
That was a high snap. Dave Dalby not available tonight. Kurt Marsh in there, or rather Charlie Hanna. He has not been providing the snaps on the field goal unit. And Ray Guy had to bring it down from very high position. Sometimes it's difficult to do. And I can't tell you, I've played on a couple of teams that have this kind of a record. It's tough to get through these final games. They played the Raiders tough tonight. Sloppily at times, but tough. Maturi fires it in, gets it complete. It goes to Jeff Chadwick, and he'll have a first down. I want to remind you, the executive producer of ABC Sports, as always, Brune Arledge. ABC's Monday Night Football, produced by Bob Goodrich and directed by Chet Forty. Technical director Joe Chavo, halftime producer Peter Lasser, associate director is Kim Belton. As Machurik from the shotgun again on first down, throws underneath to Dexter Bussey. And Bussey up close to a first down near the 42-yard line in the arms of Otis McKinney. Associate director Kim Belton, technical manager Coach Coltrane here tonight, our unit manager Herman Norris, telecommunications manager Mike Farrell, assistants to the producer Tony Tortorisi and Charlie Wiseman.
The referee is calling a strange timeout out there, and I don't know whether it's for injury or what. He's trying to get a trainer to come out, and I'm not.
One of the Lions, and I believe it's Don Laster, is having a bit of a problem.
Well, it might be Keith Dorney. We saw him go up, have his thumb x-rayed, and then he did come back onto the field.
Nothing with 28 seconds remaining in the game. Machurik from the shotgun.
Look at this one. Uh-oh.
Machurik gets it off as the flag goes down. 49ers and the Rams. And a week from tonight, Miami and Dallas. Machurik. Go get that one, guys. And comes down to the arms of Ted Watts, out of bounds. 12 seconds remaining.
Plunkett.
Well, it makes that hole they dug for themselves by not winning their conference appear to be not so deep.
You touched on the offensive line of Detroit. A pretty good offensive line. They third in their conference offensively. Yet the Raiders got 8 sacks tonight. They now lead the league in that department with 62. Machurik, that didn't work. We'll try this one. Boy, that's pretty.
Looks like, yeah.
Mike Haynes gets that one, and he's taken into the end zone by a Detroit Lion. That'll be a touchback. That is also his 5th interception of the year. His 34th career interception. In my estimation, the best cornerback in the game today.
He's awfully smooth back there.
I don't think you find much argument with that statement.
Well, you might by Lester Hayes fans, and when you got him on the same team, why argue and quibble about it? And that's Friday night.
Friday night.
Good day. Yep. Friday night, then into Miami on next Monday. That could be a good game too. Yep. That could be it. See some good teams anyway.
It's over in Pontiac. Tom Flores has notched another win. A final word in a moment.